Ashish, thank you also very much for joining us this evening, and more importantly, having patience before we had the opportunity to come to you. You know, the ministers, as well as, of course, what the Prime Minister has said here is that farmer interests are non-negotiable. But when the average farm household earns, a normal amount of money, what does that really mean in practice?
Nivedaji, thank you for having me on the show, and good evening to you, your listeners. As it is, the disparity between American farmers and Indian farmers is huge. On an average, the American farmer has about 444 acres per family, whereas we are like under 2. So, but thank goodness that we are a consuming economy. We are taken care of. Of course, I agree with what Vijay Saldana said, that our costs and therefore our prices for different producers in many cases are higher than world market, and soya bean is a standard example. But what it means for the Indian farmer is that continued support from the government will be necessary so that we keep farming viable. Even today, farming for many cases is not a viable proposition, and that is because most of the farmers rely upon MSP, and whereas they need to make a transition from MSP to MRP, meaning from produce to product. So therefore, in order to make farming not a profession but a business, that kind of near the farm processing will be one of the main things that the farmers have to do. We have to also remember that commodities goes through cycles and huge ups and downs, whereas a product goes only one way, and that is up with inflation or shrinkflation. So therefore, what it means to the farmers, transition from MSP to MRP where you can, make full use of FPOs where you can, make sure that you link from the farm to the fork where you can. Today, with so much of infrastructure development, all this is possible. And let's be honest, from 1947 to 2025, the policies of all Indian governments has been the same, and that is to keep agri imports restrictive. Today, the farming community has to understand that in order to protect the farmers, the other sectors are taking...
What do you think, what have successive governments done, considering the fact that you were talking about how we've seen the journey between 2014 to 2025, and given the ground reality that we're looking at today? How do you view that?
I'm talking right from 1947. The policy has been the same, and that has been to protect the farmers, because we've got 12 crore farmers. A lot of employment depends upon that. And if farming collapses due to unbridled exports, we are going to have a law and order problem in this country.